Hey there, it's EnderVerse. Today we are back with the second episode of the Realistic and Survival mod series. It has been nearly a year since our last time showcasing these mods. They're much harder to find than I'd expected, so I recommend checking out the first episode too. Now without any further ado, let's dive into the video. Starting the list with Survival Islands. This mod will make it so they spawn in a desolate island surrounded by an endless ocean. This is a perfect mod for this list, as you will have to use the resources on the island and deep in the ocean and caves to survive and build your own settlement here. It's also very good to mix with the upcoming mods on this list, as it only alters the world generation in addition to being a DataPack. This mod makes Elytras a lot harder to get, as you will only get fragments of it when exploring the end. From there you will need to combine said fragments with phantom membranes as well as a whopping nether star. This very expensive new recipe will make the Elytra a lot more valuable as you can't get it as easily, and it will also incentivize you to fight phantoms and kill a wither boss too, boosting your survival experience in the process. Recycling allows you to make use of leftover arsenal, as you can now recycle them into raw materials. The recycling process only gives you about 10% of the amount of items required to make that tool or armor, so it's not overpowered and will help plenty when you find yourself with lots of looted equipment and no meaningful way to use them. Legendary Survivor Overhaul is a very thorough mod on the list. This mod added a temperature system, a localized body health system, and a thirst system. Now the world around you will affect you in realistic ways. If you climb a mountain, you'll feel a lot colder. You'll also feel warmer or colder based on the time of the day and even the time of the year if you have a seasons mod on your modpack. You may even get crippled or blinded if you get hit in critical parts of your body, but you can treat yourself using medical herbs, bandages, full medkits, or by simply sleeping. There are also painkillers like morphine, which will give you momentary relief. Furthermore, you could craft ice boxes to air condition your room or a boiler to warm it up. For mobile temperature management, however, you can wear thick clothes as well as resting in a campfire to increase your temperature, or wear soft clothes near a salt campfire to do the inverse. Drinking water canteens and slurping down juices is also essential for keeping your thirst in check. Simply put, this mod alone will take care of all of our survival requirements. We'll no longer need any thirst, temperature, or body health mod aside from this one. Map distance fix will make navigation with vanilla maps not actually possible. Back then, you would have to more or less gamble your direction and keep moving until your indicator enters the main search area. Now, the indicator will tell you exactly what direction to take, as well as how many blocks are left to get there, making temple scouting a lot easier. This mod even makes the vanilla maps a viable option for certain waypoints, which ultimately enhances exploration and survival mode in Minecraft. Forager's Insight is a farmer's delight add-on which focuses on exploring the woods and taking full advantage of the plants here. The author included so many different new tools and blocks. There's the hand basket, which will serve as extra storage for flowers only, the mallet that will slowly crack stone to gravel, an elegant flint shears, and more. The new plants can be prepared into auspicious stews. These stews are medicinal and give you different effects, sometimes one that are exclusive to this mod. In addition, there are so many different foods to prepare, and the author even worked in expanding the base game features, from cooked rabbit legs to new juices, apple slices, and birch sap that allows you to cook slime balls. There are so many different interactions, all are centered around the wilderness, which makes this mod a very viable option on the list. Not only wish it was an independent project, this way we wouldn't have to install the Farmer's Delight as well. Aleki's Nifty ships is up next. This is a very fitting transportation mod for this list as it makes you build your own ship from scratch. Traveling around the world, you will find unfinished ship frames. By following the instructions, you will slowly build and eventually sail your own ship. Just make sure not to waste your time on a ship frame that is far away from the ocean. The ship has so many different uses. You can equip it with chests, furnaces, crafting tables, and other workbenches, as well as fortifying it with cannons for self-defense. What's more is that these ships rely on two things: rowing and the direction of the wind. If you build a small boat, you will have to row, but realistically, as you will be facing the rear. In regards to the wind system, every time you deploy your sail, the ship won't move unless the wind is actually blowing into the sail, making for a very realistic experience. Before we move on, I'd like to suggest that the author adds a hotkey to deploying this sail. I know this mod is supposed to be played on multiplayer servers, but it can be a huge pain in single player. Up next we have a mod which adds stints to Minecraft. There are lots of varieties to choose from, but we'll mostly be focusing on the zip-up camping tent. This tent will give you a 3x3 space to rest zone, enough to put a bed, a chest, and a furnace to cook something for the night. What I like about it is how you can open it and close it on the go, and it will help you when you are surrounded with monsters in the woods. You could just place it and hide inside it until daytime. My suggestion for the author would be to improve the designs. The textures feel stretched, and the models could use some 2D elements instead of being a full 3D model. But that would be it. The main functionality is quite viable in my opinion. This is a very special mod on the list. It allows you to harness plants for all sorts of medicinal and powerful tunics. However, recent updates have added so many more features. From a tobacco plant that allows you to create cigarettes and cigars for puffs and buffs like Red Dead Redemption 2, as well as heavy drinks like whiskey and primal whiskey, which also empower you but at the cost of lasting negative effects. Organic material side, you could also get yourself a cowboy hat, as well as make improvised weapons such as broken glass bottles, which made me feel this mod was really inspired by Red Dead Redemption 2. I really love this mod. It has improved tremendously ever since I played it in 2025 and will play a massive role in our survival modpack. Butchery is a mod that will allow you to make the most out of your cattle. When killing an animal, you can thoroughly butcher it, dry it from blood, skin it or pluck it, and then cut it into different pieces that can be cooked and prepared in different ways. The author has of course provided a lot of new blocks and tools to make the experience a lot more realistic, and even went as far as adding support for Alex's mobs, allowing you to butcher some of the animals within said project. This mod is perfect for this list because it makes it harder though rewarding to gather meat, which ultimately improves survival mode and makes the game more realistic too. This is a rather fun mod which humanizes the process of trading with villagers. Trapping villagers in tight spaces and under inhumane conditions will result in them charging you a lot more. Now you'll have to treat them as you would want to be treated yourself, giving them a comfy house with everything they need like a bed, a warm fireplace, a kitchen and whatnot would result in much better deals. To maximize this, you could build them a respectable village, surround it with walls and set up a trading post from the trading post mod. This way villagers can socialize, see sunlight and live a comfortable life, which in turn makes them appreciate your efforts and give you excellent discounts. This mod makes it so that when you dive into water, you'll begin receiving damage. The deeper you go, the more damage you take. To mitigate this, you'll need to armor up. The stronger your armor, the deeper you could go. It's also recommended you use this mod alongside the Deeper Oceans mod. This way you get a bigger challenge. Flint'N'Powder adds historical types of firearms sprinkled with some new fictional ones too. Classical guns aside, you could also find different types of modern firearms too, and they can be so much fun to use. Furthermore, you could come across cultists that are fully armed. This way you get a taste of these new weapons yourself. You might have noticed that my firearm models are 3D. That's because I'm using a 3D extension pack. You could find it on the project page of this mod. The reason I added this to the list is due to its realistic and survival-friendly mechanisms. To loot and fire any of the guns here, you will need to manually fill them up with gunpowder, stick the bullet inside, stuff it deep, and eventually ignite it for discharge. Superb Steeds is a mod which enhances horses on Minecraft. With this mod installed, all horses across the world will have the same health and the same stats. However, set aspects can be improved through riding your horse with a saddle. The saddle itself is no longer necessary to ride a horse, but as mentioned before, is required for training your horse. While riding your horse, you can feed it to regenerate its health, and when equipping it with a leather armor, the horse becomes immune to powdered snow. This mod is also relevant here as it will allow you to grow closer to your horse and watch it get faster and stronger. Adding the horse buff mod and this animal may very well become your preferred method of transportation. As the name implies, this mod overhauls the terrain generation, making it a lot more realistic and mesmerizing. The terrains here are extremely realistic and vast, which will allow for better traversing as well as better building opportunities. This mod may not be the best for every player as it requires higher render distance to enjoy its true potential, but if your PC is good, I see no reason not to try it out. If you are more into the vanilla way of surviving, then Wilder Wild will be a better world generation option for you. This mod's intention was to improve upon the 1.19 update, and the author has been adding new features ever since then. This mod featured new mobs, overhauled vanilla biomes, new foods and items, different mechanics, and so much more. You'll feel like you're playing a full mod pack, not even a full update. Unfortunately, this mod is Fabric only, but if you are running 1.20.1 or 1.21.1 Fabric, you would still be able to get a decent realistic survival mod pack nonetheless, and the performance would be even better. So, consider this option nonetheless. This mod adds a realistic sound system to the game. With this mod installed, every move you make increases your noise and blows your cover. This will make mobs chase you from far away. The author even made it so that based on your armors, you will be either noisy or hidden. And to top it off, with low health, even your heartbeat becomes a noise big enough to draw in mobs. I see this mod being used in zombie apocalypse mod packs, where they are trying to survive a zombie invasion. This may sound a little off track, but it does relate to the realistic and survival theme of the video. ParCool will allow for agile movements, things like leaping forward, clinging to cliffs, or climbing faster. The reason I added this mod to the list is due to its heavy relation with the game Peak, as you can use new movements to climb faster, but should also look out for your stamina not to get tired. Peak is perhaps the most brutal game I've ever played, so referencing it will only do good for this video. This next mod makes water in Minecraft into a finite source with realistic physics. Same goes with lava too. This mod will go very well with the legendary Survivor Overhaul mod. With water being finite, thirst will stand out as a huge survival risk. Any lake you may find can only fill 2 or 3 glass bottles, which increases the realism and hardship of the game tremendously. And for our final mod on the list, we have Realistic Nametag. This is a simple client-sided project which completely hides the player's name tags when they are standing behind any block. This mod can spice up manhunt minigames a lot more. Players could just camouflage their presence entirely, which makes it impossible to see them coming. Thanks for watching. We've covered 20 different mods about survival and realism on the first episode. As you can see, these are not the most abundant types of mods, so make sure not to miss that out. Subscribe and turn on the bell if you enjoy watching these videos and find them valuable. I'll see ya in the next one, my friend.